are live with another issue of Quark and Laser Vision Comics. My name is Bolthra, and I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. And I've got my two players tonight. Let's start with the star, Matt.
I'm playing Quark tonight. Who's got ready to begin a interesting new session.
Yes. And our guest star, Mike.
Hi, everybody. I am returning as Agent Orange, the orangutan that sleeps on the couch.
Straight up. The hairy roommate who clogs up the shower and doesn't.
We are the ultimate odd couple, and I love it.
I think it's been great so far.
Awesome.
All right, so in our last issue, the pair were working together and had encountered a little bit of trouble over at Adam's apartment. Some gentlemen had shown up with some nasty looking dart guns and things, and were tried to capture Dr. Evans, aka Agent Orange. They managed to subdue the gentleman, and at the end of the kerfuffle, shall we say, they were approached by a trio of people, two men and a woman. The woman had introduced herself as Agent Wright of a agency called Aegeus, and had asked the pair to come along with them. They left the park and got into a windowless van, a kind of a large van, considering one of the occupants. And they got into this windowless van and they began driving. They actually seemed to drive for several hours, and Agent Wright sits up in the front seat, where you really can't even see her. It's like it's a paneled inside. So, and they sit in the back with one of the agents, who isn't very forthcoming for any kinds of questions that the pair might ask. Even, hey, can we stop to use the bathroom? They seem to be kind of hell bent on getting somewhere in particular.
I mean, I can go pee in the corner. That's cool.
You could, yes.
You are an animal.
you can, yes.
I'm a man. Damn it. Damn idiot.
Yeah.
The joke is just going to keep going. I apologize, everybody, in advance.
No, this is awesome. All right. And then after what seems for like several hours, I mean, they had left in the afternoon. So, I mean, you can't tell if it's day or night. You really just get no feel for what time it is, unless you're wearing a watch. Then they do eventually. The van does seem to slow down, and then you hear what sounds like a gate rolling up, like a large metallic sound, and the van pulls forward, and then you hear the same sound of like something like very heavy, like a metallic gate coming down. The back doors do open, and the pair are able to step out and stretch their legs.
Hell of a ride.
And you find yourselves in what looks like an enormous warehouse. I mean, the ceiling is about as high as like a sports arena. It is just impossibly big. And as you get out, Agent Wright comes around and just says, all right, sorry for the really long ride. We do have restrooms if you need them, but we would like to get down to work with you gentlemen right away. Give me a perception check, each of you, please.
I actually went into the crypts and I pulled out my dice I purchased from a Colorado convention.
Oh, cool.
Earlier this year, that is actually the Prowlers and Paragons symbols on them.
Awesome. Wow.
Nice.
We're amateurs.
I got
I'm just a nerd. What
I
are we
got
rolling?
4 fours.
Perception, please. 4 fours.
4
Okay.
fours. So that should be 4 successes.
Correct. Yep.
I got 5.
Okay. One of the things you notice as you do get out and kind of stretch, you kind of look across the inside of this place, and you can see it's almost been broken up into different little sections. There's been like walls put up, like temporary walls put up, and you see what looks like like almost like a model of a building, like a fake brick building, and there are people rappelling up it, up and down. There's people in uniforms kind of rappelling up and down. And you also hear the sounds of what sounds like almost like combat training from kind of the other side of the, kind of like if you're facing, we're going to say facing north, probably from the east, you would hear what almost sounds like combat training, like not necessarily gunfire, but hand to hand, maybe even some light weapon training. Agent Wright will escort Adam. She will take him off to the left, and one of the other agents gingerly goes to touch Agent Orange's arm and says, "If you'd follow me right this way, sir." And you
Yeah,
guys,
to hold my hand.
and
You gonna be all right, Adam?
Did you hear that,
You're
Adam?
gonna be all right, Adam.
What? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Sorry, I was having
Okay.
a coughing fit. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. And I don't think this place could hold us very long, given our individual abilities.
Giving our past history of tearing
Yeah.
your apartment apart.
Yeah. Well, and the van ride.
You're each taken to what looks like a conference room. I mean, it's been built into the area and almost has kind of like a fake little roof on the top of it.
He sees these like, oh, great interrogations again. What
You
the
get
hell?
in. There is there's a bathroom facility in there. You're kind of shown to them. The gentleman with Agent Orange is like, so you you can
So
go
I
in
won.
there. You can go in there, sir.
I know I can go in there. I don't have to go.
Okay.
Do
all
you
right.
have to go?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, I'm okay too.
Okay. Well, could you just have a seat at the table and someone will be in to talk to you soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be hanging out to get interrogated.
And
Yeah.
does he sit in the middle of the table? Or?
Squats right in the middle of the table.
All right.
Crisscross applesauce,
All right. So for the next couple hours, each character sits in the conference room and will be asked questions, sometimes by a variety of staff members. Agent Wright will stay in the room with Adam. The other agent stays in with Agent Orange, but they have different people coming in all the time. And they seem to ask a lot of the same questions, but sometimes they're phrased differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of those questions with each character.
Okay.
First with Agent Orange. So what was your experience like working at Jet Microsystems?
It was fantastic. I had excellent health care. The dental was kind of 50-50, but I'd have to say the worst part of everything was finding out they're a corrupt corporation that are providing weird experimentation on animals, and I ended up turning into this. So yeah, I can't give them 5 stars on Yelp.
The researcher kind of looks up.
Huge sarcastic tone as he's saying this. Huge.
Aside from your past few weeks, have you noticed anything earlier? Had you noticed anything earlier that was odd about your workplace?
I haven't, but again, I'm not trained in anything special besides my specific scientific field. I'm not somebody to be asking, like, did I notice anything out of the ordinary? Because all I did every day was, go to work and go home and get Chinese on Fridays and sit down and watch Netflix on Saturday nights. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't ask for any of this.
Would you describe yourself as a law-abiding citizen?
Yeah, up until, I don't know laws about animals driving vehicles, but I still made it from point A to point B, so I think it's a win.
Okay. And we're going to switch over to Adam. And he gets some similar questions. Does Jet Microsystems seem like a moral company to you?
Up until I found out about the animal experimentation, I would have said yes. I'm not sure where I stand on that, given what happened with my companion.
And who is your companion again?
Well, Dr. I forget his name.
Maurice.
Evans.
Maurice. I was close. I had the verbal part of it. Dr. Evans, the orangutan.
The orangutan. Okay, so the orangutan is Dr. Evans, who was reported missing and presumably dead.
Yes. What I think happened, something happened. There was a fire and some sort of odd smoke, and something I think caused his, and I'm not sure how this is possible, his brain to switch with that of one of the orangutans that was captured or contained within the lab.
Have you discussed your current health and status with your family or friends?
No, I have not. I wasn't sure what to tell them. It's only been a few days, and I have not yet decided what to do about this.
Is national security important to you?
I never really thought about it before.
Did you have a lot of involvement with upper management at Jet Microsystems?
Well, I can't say that I did. I was more of a researcher in residence. And so long as they let me do my work, I was pretty much happy and didn't really have to bother myself with any upper management.
And this seems to drag on for hours, these questions. Again, different people every time giving you different questions similar to those. Until you are actually then led from the conference room to another room, which seems to be another conference room, but then you were able to then meet. You see Dr. Evans and you see Adam. You're both kind of brought into the same conference room and then sat down, presumably to wait.
Oh, I see. You passed the Rorschach test also, huh?
I guess.
And then by about after 2-3 minutes, somebody comes in with water, maybe some snacks. They started to bring in some fruit, and then the person starts to step in with a bowl of fruit and goes,
I'm just going to look at him like this.
And starts to, and does the Homer Simpson back.
Backs up.
And then Agent Wright walks in and just kind of shakes her head like, what were they thinking? All right, gentlemen. Now that we've gotten to know you a little bit better, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we know. And I'm hoping these are some of the answers that I believe I promised you earlier. You both work for Jet Microsystems for a amount of time, and you both pretty involved in your day-to-day work. From what we understand, you never really seem to have noticed too much unusual behavior. They seem to have kept a lot of things well hidden from the staff. An informant of Aegeus works at Jet Microsystems and had reported some irregular testing, as they put it. Genetics and animal research aren't typically Jet's trade in stock. So there is definitely another player involved. Who that is, we haven't uncovered, but they seem to be very big with lots of resources. Uh, we have continued to investigate, um, but they seem, but unfortunately, we arrived too late to prevent the accident that you were both in. Uh, what we've uncovered thus far is Jet Microsystems hired Silver Star Solutions really just as muscle. Lots of corporations use them. Uh, so seeing gun-toting security isn't very unusual these days for businesses. But we don't suspect them as being this other player. We think again they're just brought in as muscle. She turns to Maurice. Dr. Evans, you are a misplaced asset. So technically, they were recovering what was lost. Now, granted, this is something you don't see every day, but again, so far, nothing illegal. One thing we do know is they inserted a tracking chip in you, which we can nullify. Um, and we want to make sure that this is taken care of so that they're no longer able to track you. We think we've turned it off, but we would like your permission to remove it from you.
Where is it?
In the back of your neck.
Oh, that's
Okay.
not.
I thought it was going someplace else.
That might take a little finessing, I would think.
Yeah.
And she makes his face like, I don't think they would put it anywhere unusual.
I don't know these people. I thought I knew these people. I thought I was earning a pension. Apparently not.
Well,
So both of us got surprised in the past 48 hours.
it was placed in the animal before you
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
began your change.
So before I let you cut me open, what are you expecting out of us? 'Cause you pretty much rounded us up like cattle, threw us in the back of a van for a couple hours, interrogated us like we were heading to the principal's office. What's expected of us?
We would like to take advantage, and it sounds like a horrible expression to use, but take advantage of the enhanced abilities that you each have. Perhaps turn them to your advantage while also assisting your country.
He just turns and he looks over at Adam.
That actually sounds worthwhile to me. I come from a family of means, and it has always been put upon me and my family to go out there and do the right things, not really having much in the way of, I guess, a real dedicated interest in the common good. I elected to go into science to see if perhaps there could be something I could do there. But with these abilities, if I can do something to not only help my fellow man, but my country as well, then I see that as a good. I might as well make use of these abilities in some way that can help others.
Well, aren't you patriotic?
We know that this is an unfortunate situation for you. And the alternative for you is not very, she seems to choose her words carefully, optimistic, shall we say.
Can't really drop me off on a private island someplace, and
Yeah.
I can live out the rest of my days. I think orangutans are around like 30 something years. And, just.
Well, Dr. Evans, are you still the man you once were, or are you just a beast now?
What do you think? I don't really have a choice as far as what I physically am, but obviously I still have all of my mental capabilities.
Then use them.
I
Then
would
then,
I
then
would
make
say
the
the
best of
same,
your
Dr. Evans.
situation.
Use your capabilities for as long as you have them.
I'll make you a deal, Agent. Unfortunately, I am not the patriotic sort that good honest Adamir is. However, I can't recover my body. It is ash, and I've come to terms with that. However, doesn't mean I have to be stuck in an ape for the rest of my life. So, if I'm allowed to use the resources here to find a suitable substitute, I will assist you.
I don't know if that's possible, Dr. Evans, but we can certainly aim for such a thing, and we do have members of our staff who are quite technologically savvy that perhaps it can be done.
We can only give it the good old college try, right?
That's true.
Indeed.
Aegeus is putting together a team, and we would like the two of you to join it. We've already identified an individual in Chicago who looks promising. They're currently affiliated with another group there, but we are actively recruiting that individual as well as one other rogue element. I guess, and she kind of takes a step back. Goes, I guess that wasn't the right word to use. An unknown element. That's the better way to put it. But again, we would like to put together a team. But first, my personal responsibility is to make sure that you two have what you feel you need to do the work that you want to continue on with. And they will then take you from the room. You kind of head to maybe the far kind of northwestern corner of the warehouse, where they actually have individual living quarters. They're probably similar to trailers, but they do have a separate one for each of you, as restroom, shower, things like that. They indicate to you that it's considered just temporary until their situations can be stabilized, and says we'll give you about an hour or two, and then we'd like to introduce you to someone who's going to be assisting you with your research.
Very well.
Okay. So anything they need to do besides, clean up the stinky parts and
He doesn't really have anybody he can contact.
No, you have no phones. There are no.
There's computer access.
Not yet. No.
So until he's either taken in for his procedure to get the thing removed out of his neck, or until he's going to speak to whoever, he's just chilling out because he's been cooped up in the back of a van for a whole bunch of hours.
Okay. There is no monkey bars or anything like that he sees to take out his frustrations. But
I see what you did there, Thomas. You better watch yourself, young fella.
I couldn't resist.
No monkey.
No monkey business. That really should have been the name of the issue. Was no monkey business. Within after the time that they allowed you to kind of rest and relax, Dr. Evans is taken to kind of a medical room within the place and given a local anesthetic the back of his neck, and it seems to be kind of a quick little surgery. I mean, it's they show it to you. I mean, it's bigger than say the chip you would put in like a pet, but very similar to just a GPS tracking like you would have for a pet. And it seems like it was standard for what they used for the animals there. They take it and they put it into a little baggie and zip it up and says, we're going to do some further research on this.
Can I make a perception check to make sure
Yeah.
they're not pulling any Suicide Squad shit on me. Like, take something out, put something in. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You see, I told you.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, please do.
I'm not falling for that shit. Two.
Twice. Yeah, twice.
He slaps the back of his neck. Doesn't feel like, besides a bandage there, he didn't really feel like anything else was
It doesn't feel like anything.
inserted.
It's numb.
Yeah. Maybe we'll check that out later.
Yeah. You could, yeah, perhaps.
Explosive device. Who knows?
Good question. Okay.
Is he that paranoid or just?
He's been captured once, and
Yeah.
you freed him out of a cage in a distorted state, and then he was chased up a tree again. So he's a little paranoid, and just shipped off to this place where these people claimed to want to help. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's not.
Adams lived somewhat of a
realm
sheltered, but yeah, I feel like Adams lived somewhat of a sheltered, but well-to-do life. So he's kind of like he's taking these people at his word, and if he finds out it's otherwise, then yeah. Well, I mean, first job. The way I look at it, this is his first job, and it turns out to be a corrupt laboratory, doing illegal experimentation. So, his track record isn't exactly great.
Well,
he's like, damn, why did I turn down Burger King when I had the chance? So
yeah, exactly.
$15 an hour, yo.
Yeah. I figure he'll if he has any time by himself, at least while Dr. Evans is getting the surgery done, he may want to try to look up and see if there's anything about on the news or any kind of information about Jet Microsystems that's making headway, like particularly if his name shows up, like missing in local whatever missing today, that kind of like looking for his name.
Or did they turn us popped up anyway? To city's most wanted right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
like he got caught on camera doing something else or whatever.
Yeah. Let's have Adam make a technology roll. Because there's what channel does he watch? The local news? You watch national news?
Yeah, it depends on what's available. I mean, he'd flip around trying to catch anything he could.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like I have 3 dice for that. Let me go over here to my doohickey. This. Ooh, 2 6s and a 5. So that's 4 successes.
Okay. He gets there's like a little lounge area kind of and he kind of jumps in and maybe some people just playing cards or something.
Yeah,
flips on the TV and he is watching a news channel from Philadelphia.
Okay.
So there is no local broadcast from Boston to be found.
But now we have an idea of where we are.
Yes.
And that was the other thing I was hoping to find out.
That's true.
So
you're smart.
Okay, that works. Flipping the channels. Hey, here we go. Whoa. Oh, okay. Now we learned something.
Your agent kind of strolls in. He's like, we've decided.
I'll just quickly change the channel again.
Yeah. You gotta pay for the cable here.
Exactly. I was watching porn. It was okay.
Exactly.
I wasn't watching the news. I wasn't. It was porn. No.
Oh, God.
He tells you that they're gonna hold off on kind of beginning any of your research till the morning because
that's fair. I mean,
you noticed it was probably like the 11:30 news or something like that. So it's late.
It's late.
So we will go to the next morning. And you're brought back to the initial conference room that the two of you, excuse me, not the initial one, the room with the conference room with the two of you were met. Agent Wright comes in wearing a different uniform, but very similar, and she says, "I'd like to introduce the individual who is going to be assisting you with your research." And as she's staying there, there's nobody behind her. And she's just kind of looking, and then you see her kind of look down, and the phone rings.
Yeah. And the phone rings.
and she kind of she says, Admiral, and then you're kind of both seated kind of behind the table, so you kind of see the table in front of you, and from the end of the table you see this small little figure rise up, and they're maybe about 2 feet tall. They have gray skin. They look like your stereotypical gray alien. They have a bubble helmet on with like a little antenna, and as they
Right
rise
out of
up,
the 50s.
they rise up, and they're in a almost look to you would almost look like a military uniform. Little bobs and knobs and
Yeah.
things like that, and they have like kind of a grayish black cape, and they're wearing boots, and they have this very stern look on their face, and they just kind of cross their arms and look at you. Agent Wright says, I would like to introduce Admiral Blizzblub.
Gesundheit.
Well, Shazbot.
And he goes, I understand that reference. And he speaks English with not really any kind of discernible accent, and he goes, and I am not from Orc.
Where do you hail
Well,
from
good to
then?
know. Yeah.
If you must know, I am from Mars.
Paging Dr. Smith. No, from like, there's no life on Mars. How is that possible?
Of course, there's life on Mars.
Just hidden?
I'm living proof.
Well, you're on Earth.
I am. Unfortunately,
So you're not really on Mars right now.
Yes, but I thought.
So
he just kind of looks over at Wright like, are these guys idiots? He's like, and the beast is talking. So this is the part I'm unclear
coming out
on.
of an alien, the beast is talking.
Who says he's from Mars? I'm a little confused, but this isn't the least confusing thing that's happened to me. So,
Agreed.
So you hail from Mars.
I am. Yes.
I will take that at face value because after all, like any of the other strange things that have happened to us, well, that's the least. Like I said, that's the least strangest. Agent Smith, or whatever your name is. What exactly? I'm at a loss. I'm fascinated, and yet also deeply like, wait, what? So
what is the Admiral supposed to be helping us with?
Yes, exactly. What is your job, Admiral?
And he just kind of sneers and he says, I come from a planet with a much higher technology than yourselves. Has your planet ever sent someone to another planet, to another galaxy? I think not.
I'm not aware anyone has. Interstellar travel is beyond our capability.
Again, you're basically primates compared to the technology that exists on my world.
Well, then please allow.
I am a primate.
Yeah. I would be curious to see what some of this technology involves.
Unfortunately, I was stranded on your world and have not been able to return.
Oh, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunate.
Make it sound like such a burden.
Well, this must seem like the backwoods of Kentucky to him. So I can understand his frustrations in dealing with people who are, how shall we say, less mechanically inclined or less what's the word? I guess properly trained in life. And is English the only language you speak, sir?
And he just sighs and he's like, I learned several of your languages since I've been here. Your languages are not very complicated.
No, but some of them can be. And he'll rattle off a little bit in what do I have? He'll rattle off a little bit in German. And what else did I pick?
We're gonna test you.
Well, he is testing him just because.
He spent
Like, oh,
the
let's see.
points.
Oh, I'm
Where's the
Russian. We'll try
test?
Russian.
He
I
responds.
picked Russian because it was like, oh, I figured the 80s, the 80s throwback.
he responds in Russian.
Okay, cool. All right, so just
and then asks you a question in a language you don't comprehend.
yeah. I only speak 5 other languages besides English, so I'm like, all right, that's a little beyond
Only
me.
5.
But yeah, well, that's more than most.
Agent Wright speaks up. Says, the Admiral has joined our team and has offered to assist with helping you create any kind of devices, any kind of advanced technology that you feel like you would need in your efforts to assist Aegeus.
What I'd like to start with is to figure out, and I don't know if you need a device or you already have it. I want to understand how my abilities work. I don't know much more than how to fire a blast, fly, and reduce my size. I want to do a little more in-depth research into what I can actually do with these abilities. Dr. Evans clearly has his faculties within the brain or the body of an orangutan. I don't know what else I can do with these abilities. I've yet to really fully explore them. And I would like to start with that so that I might figure out what best I can do with these abilities. Punching a hole through material is kind of crude. If there were some way that could be harnessed in a different fashion, then I think my abilities could be better utilized out in the field.
The Admiral nods and says, I have, though crude, based on Earth technology, a genetic, and the storyteller can't even think of the right word, basically a way to examine your DNA and determine how it's been changed, and analyze it, and also look to see how it can be enhanced, and through technology perhaps harness some of these abilities to be of greater use to you.
Let's start with that because I really want to know what else I can do. So far I can only fly, shoot beams. I don't know what else to call it. I don't even know if they burn or punch or what. It doesn't appear to be electrical. It doesn't appear to be thermal. It doesn't appear to be vibratory or anything of that nature that I can fathom. But I haven't had a chance to analyze what it does. The flight, I have yet to figure out exactly what causes that. And the shrinking, well, that's completely out of left field. I haven't begun to decipher that one.
And the Admiral just kind of shrugs like, okay, how about you? And looks over at Agent Orange.
I think in order for me to best assist, I would just need access to a lab and equipment and proper technology. I'm not any kind of fighter, but I'd like to think, a country's leading expert in nanotechnology when it comes to medical examination and diagnosis. So if anything, I can help assist as far as that range. And if I have access to equipment and supplies, I might be able to put some things together to help out.
And the Admiral's like, seems like it's no trouble to me, and looks up at Agent Wright, excuse me, and says, well, get moving, get them what they need. And she's like, all right, and you will be, Dr. Evans is then shown to a lab with a lot of equipment, much better than at his old job. Some of the stuff he's maybe only heard about at trade shows. He's just like kid in a candy store, and the Admiral is, you have to understand, this is very the setup here is very transitory. I mean, this is just the best they could come up with. I assume this would be to your liking.
I mean, it's adequate for now to be able to get some things put together besides me throwing around pieces of furniture at people. But I am more than just, something that can climb over trees. So,
And 3 lab assistants come in. People in their 20s look like, and the Admiral says, "This is your staff. They will assist you with whatever you need."
I have staff.
Of course.
Wow.
So we are going to step away from Dr. Evans for a second, and the Admiral is going to go over and see Adam over in his laboratory. So you're brought into your laboratory. You were also given a small staff to work with, but the Admiral seems more intent on right now spending time with you.
Yeah.
He says, I want to first examine your genetic makeup to see exactly what has been done to you. And
I would like to know that myself.
And he pulls out a thing that almost looks like literally like a Star Trek tricorder.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of scanning over you to see, and he kind of mutters in. Kind of mumbles something under his breath, but which you assume is probably Martian.
Yeah.
And he's like, very, very interesting. He says, you say you possess the ability to fly.
Yes.
In just one form or in all of your forms?
I haven't tried it outside of being small. But I would imagine that whatever my abilities are, I think I should be able to fly while normal size. I don't think it's limited to being tiny, but I haven't yet been able to do that.
Yes.
And I think it's because I need more practice at, flying or doing whatever it is I do that makes me fly.
And he says, and he kind of just runs the thing over to you and he kind of goes, "Do you think you could fly in your..."
Can you fly, Bobby? I haven't tried it, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And he will try to do like the mental trigger that lets him fly while he's small and see if that does anything.
Give me a willpower roll, please.
Yeah, I figured as much. I just have to see how many dice I bought for that. That's up to 5.
Because now that you're not in a stressful situation,
well,
this might be stressful, but so.
Yeah, it's a little stressful, but it's all right. It's like, all righty. We got 4, 4, 4, and a 6 and a 3.
Okay.
So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes, 5.
Now, as part of your move up to level 125, did he buy flight in all his forms?
I just bought flight. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I didn't link it to anything, or just bought it as a separate individual power.
That's fine. That's what I just wanted to find out if it was linked to.
No, definitely. I didn't link anything because I couldn't figure out how to make that cost less. So I was like, okay, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it alone.
That's fine. I think it's only fair to let you be able to fly in both forms then. So he feels his feet kind of starting to.
Okay, this is working. Okay, this is awesome.
Now, you had mentioned you have some sort of beams, eye beams or something.
Well, they come out of my hands, but I don't know that I'm limited to that. Again, it depends on what I'm exactly doing here, but I can try. Do we have anything that I can shoot or blast or
the staff? The staff immediately back up.
Yeah, I'm not going to aim it at anybody.
And the Admiral says, "Your lab coat. Take that off." And this girl just kind of shrugs it off. He says, and she hangs it on like a hook on one of the temporary walls things, and just kind of creeps
one of these
back.
Temporary like climbing wall kind of deals. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will aim and trigger the blast, and let's see how much I'm going to use, because the blast under my new form has more dice in it. And it's actually because it's a form of my construct's power. So I'm just going to use that for this and see what that does. There we go. I'll just paste. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 dice.
Oh God.
Okay. I got a couple of sixes.
The coat is shredded. It does not necessarily burst into flame,
Yeah.
but it is more just shredded by the force of the beam.
Okay.
And
So I wasn't expecting that. Clearly, something is going on here. And at this point, what I'm thinking is that there's something else going on with these abilities. I don't know. Maybe they're still in flux. Is there any way, Admiral, that you can see if my abilities are changing still, or?
he says your body, your DNA is still changing. It's only been several days, you say, so it's still adjusting to the change, and perhaps it will never stop. Perhaps you will be in constant flux. But I believe that I can harness this ability through perhaps a system of electronics that could be placed upon you. And he's like, I've got the perfect idea. And we're going to go into a montage of them working together in a lab, where basically he's
training
going
montage.
Exactly a training montage. Yep. Just like on South. Yeah, exactly.
Can't say too much before we get chucked off the Twitch.
But yep. Before can't do the full song. But they go through kind of where he's going to help him basically build Quark's suit.
Okay.
Which is going to help him focus his abilities through electromagnetic blah 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 stuff. The GM was an HR major, not a science major, so basically helps kind of focus all that stuff. And by the time they're done, he now has this suit that fits like a glove, and he's now able to more focus what he wants, and it almost comes out of his fingers instead of as like a beam, almost as like a blob, almost like a glob. And so it's more like he has like dexterous abilities, like it kind of comes out as a blob, and he can kind of go, okay, well, I want it to go right, I want it to go left.
It's more malleable.
Yes.
And he's got better control of it.
Yes. And the Admiral says, is this more what you were thinking of?
I think so. I wish I knew more about what was going on. And I guess that's going to require just more and more research until I figure out exactly what this is going to be, or what this turns out to be.
He's like, excellent. I'm glad I could assist you, and we will be doing training shortly with your powers.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
Okay. And in the meantime, Dr. Evans has been working with his crack team. And what does he kind of ask them what he wants?
So he gives them odd requests. Like, he's clearly medically inclined. However, he keeps asking them for different types of access to things as far as weaponry housings and armor and things that you wouldn't normally associate with that stuff. So I have a question for you, Storyteller.
Okay.
There's two different ways that this can be done. One, I can use the actual gadgets system that's on page 94 in the core book, or I can just use the actual Omni power. I'm fine with either or.
Which approach would you prefer?
I think the Omni would probably be easier.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a roll for the Omni, and I'm going to basically, he's taking the equivalent to scale mailing pieces of equipment together, but he's taking armor and weapons and he's using them for a medical purpose. So the first thing he's attempting to put together is some type of firearm, but it's not shooting any type of bullets or any type of ammo that is conventional. He has ammo that is syringes. So anything he is inputting in, it is some type of liquid, either adrenaline or anesthesia or something to stun someone or something to give someone the equivalent of a boost or healing. So he's looking for basically a rifle or handgun projectile-esque device.
This takes them a little bit. They kind of huddle for a little bit. The research assistants huddle for a little bit. They come back with someone from another department who appears to be more trained with firearms. And in talking to Dr. Evans, it sounds like you need more like a tranquilizer gun that's going to shoot like almost like an arrow or a dart.
True, but I also need something that I'm going to be able to instill with things that are a little more sturdier than just darts. That's why I was looking for some of your current weaponry, and then I can convert it over so it would have much longer range. It would have much more durability than just a standard tranquilizer dart. I can get that from the zoo. I don't need any jokes.
They come back a little while later with almost something that looks like a grenade launcher. Has like a circular barrel with multiple chambers, I guess. And he kind of puts it down in front of you and says, "Is this kind of more what you're looking for? That you can kind of spin it and choose what you want to use?"
I can make it work.
He's like, "All right," and he just kind of shrugs and kind of walks out. And okay, so what's the what's going to happen is he will work on part of it for you. The research team will start looking at it while you kind of move on to the next thing you want to look at. So, okay.
The other item I was looking to put together to show off is kind of like a stasis shield. So basically, if I do have an ally or an agent that is down and I have to get to them, but I can't get to them immediately, something I could toss at them that basically puts a bubble around them, and I show them a drawing of a schematic that I would use in my lab as protection fields for experimentation for the nanos. But obviously, in the lab, it came in a much more smaller space. So this would be expanding on that, but the actuality of it would be to protect the individual until I was able to get over there.
By this time, the Admiral, Blizblub, has returned. And while the staff are kind of like force field, the Admiral's like, "Oh, you simpletons, let me take over with that." And we go into
the schematic.
Yep. And we go into a quick montage of them at a whiteboard, just
He's
drawing.
Working, and his foot is pulling up a banana, and his hand's holding a wrench. And all you see is random hands and feet.
Yep.
You know.
Just and the Admiral is floating in the air, and he's like, and him going like, rubbing, attempting to rub his chin, but he has a helmet on.
He's like,
so he's kind of tapping his helmet, and then kind of pointing out, going, no, this, but within a couple hours, they have enough of a prototype working at the lab assistants, after being scolded by the Admiral several times, have begun kind of working on something for him. So, okay. I think there was something else as well.
He also had an idea for a harness. So basically, he wanted something that would simulate like a medical harness, but have armor built in on it.
Okay. That they're able to get working on very quickly because they do have basically armorers who work for Aegeus, who can probably take like an existing like Kevlar jacket or something and start to rig up something for him. We do go through another montage of them coming over and they're measuring
Extra
him.
long sleeves, you know.
You know, they're checking the cuffs and the but they go through the measuring montage. The whole thing, this takes several days to get everything for each character working.
The thread count has to be perfect, obviously.
Exactly. And we go through another montage of Adam kind of up in the air and spinning around in his in his suit, and after he's had a chance to kind of play around with stuff for a couple days, he actually has formed almost like a club in his hands, and he's kind of able to kind of wield it. At first he has to hold it, but after a while he's able to kind of push it out of his hands, and then the club is kind of on its own, like kind of he's able to rotate a little bit. So he's learning, and he's able to like shape it. He goes, okay, I want to shape it into like a rake. I want to shift it, and he's able to start. It doesn't shift immediately, but it kind of he's able to start shifting things, so he's kind of learning how to use that. And the suit also shifts with him. So he's able to, when he's in the suit, he can shrink, he can get big, he can shrink, get big, and it stays with him.
Yeah, my clothes did that, so that doesn't surprise him at all.
Yeah.
So it's something, something like a microfield that surrounds him.
Yeah.
It interacts with however he's causing his shrinking. It's like, excuse me. It's something interacting with the immediate surrounding environment. So that doesn't surprise him, but it's like, it's still interesting. It's like, how does this work? You know, how am I not naked? Not that I want to be naked, but.
And after a couple days, they definitely have the jacket for Dr. Evans, and that seems to fit the way he wants. The force field isn't quite up to snuff yet. It's generating, but it's not really holding its charge. So the Admiral is chastising the lab assistants again. Says, "No, I will take this myself. Never mind." And the last thing was the gun. He's got something that works right now. It's able to shoot the hypodermics he wants, but it doesn't quite have all of the different choices he wants. They've got it to shoot these things without them, without the vial breaking or anything like that under the force. But he doesn't quite have, okay, I want it to be adrenaline. I want it to be this. It'll rotate, but it's not quite doing everything he wants. But it's begun. So the process continues. And Agent Wright offers them a chance to continue their work, but she has an idea that they would eventually probably like to test these things out in a maybe a controlled environment.
That's reasonable and prudent.
Yes. And Dr. Evans, what do you concur?
Absolutely. If putting somebody into mortal danger,
Yeah.
But I think I could probably test out the jacket. Is this Egyptian cotton? This is really soft.
She's like, I think it is.
So I'd be able to test that out at least, and I could test out the shield if it's fully charged.
And we were also going to see if we could add a liner to it for winter.
Well, I do have her.
She was big.
Eyes
she
up
was,
here. Eyes up here. I know I'm pointing here, but
and the Admiral actually gives a little chuckle at that. And he's like, for a primate, you do have an amazing sense of humor.
Well, I have to keep my spirits up. I can literally watch myself wipe my own ass. So.
At that, they will be scheduling something for the following day, where Agent Wright says, all right, well, tomorrow we're going to enter the arena and see what you can do.
The arena.
And that is where we will end the issue for tonight. So I want
the arena sounds
the danger room.
Yes, the danger room.
Possibly. So I'd like to thank my players for another wonderful game. We will pick up again with Agent Orange issue 4 to see what happens in the arena. So thanks to everybody who's been watching. I want to give my players a chance to tell us a little bit about themselves and what they got going on. So let's start with Mike.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Walsh. On the socials, you can find me at Ventru1399. I have a link tree up, so I don't have to take up an hour and a half with everything I currently have that's going on. As always, I would love to thank Tom for the space and the platform to perform. These games are awesome. He's an amazing storyteller. His casts are equally amazing. Upcoming, you can find me this coming Sunday on Outshined DC by night on X-Row K-Row 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Vampire the Masquerade. And I have a couple of other things going on, so stay tuned. And if you like what I do, follow me on Twitter. I also push other individuals to give them spotlights for their endeavors, such as this fantastic channel. And upcoming this Friday, episode 1, Horror at Oak Hill, Hunter the Reckoning. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you, sir. And Matt?
Oh, I'm not anywhere nearly as fancy or fun.
Oh, you're fancy. Stop your
yeah.
shit.
I just don't do a lot outside of this game and whatever Tom's running.
That's fine.
I just have personal stuff going on. I'm going to a wedding in a few weeks. So that's about
Alrighty.
it. And then I don't think I have anything planned until somebody's wedding next year in February.
We're going to have to, get you caught up.
And we're going to we're going to see if we can drag him into some more games. So
yeah.
You might.
I think we can.
So long as my Friday is kind of Fridays and Saturdays are pretty much occupied. Actually, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are occupied. And then 2 nights for the gym is like, okay, I have Monday and Wednesday, and that's about it. Huh?
I said, are you too damn busy? So you do have stuff going on.
I have a life outside of games, unfortunately.
I know.
So, gotta keep busy. I don't really have enough time to play all the board games I'd like to play that I have in my closet. So hey. All right, that's it for me.
Okay, for me, you guys found me. I do LaserVision Comics here. We're going to try to have a game every week, every Wednesday about this time if possible. And as Mike added, we'll be starting Friday night, the Horror at Oak Hill. Our first try with Hunter. Please come by and check it out. It will be a different vibe than tonight, probably with still some gross humor, but definitely a little scarier. So thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.